Please turn on the fan and push it the other side. Push it this side so that it can face it. Push it behind. Okay. So allow me first of all to say a very big thank you for every participant that came to this amazing marriage conference. And we really want to thank God we had a very fantastic first session. Let's give God a hand clap of praise for that session we had earlier on. And so we are going into another session, and I also want to thank the people who were joined in from Nairobi, those who joined in from other parts of the country. And we really want to thank God because they found time to join the conversation. And we ask that they join us again, or for those that are joining in, we appreciate you. And we ask that you're going to stay around and listen to the conversation we are just about to have. We are going into our question section. And I believe that, as we said earlier, the purpose of this meeting is if you can be helped as a person. I know that in the mind of people, we always want the other person to be helped. But many times in the equation of being helped, we remove ourselves. And if you're that kind of a person, many times you need help more than the people you think they need the help. And so I want to welcome you especially into this conversation again. And Charity, again, maybe you have any word before we go into the questions? Yeah.
Thank you. Praise God.
Amen.
Praise God once more.
Amen.
One, I'm very grateful and thankful for the lunch. To the catering team, you did a wonderful job. You see, I'm sweating. Sababu nimeshiba. I think because there are questions. I wouldn't want to say anything, Pastor. I would want us to go straight into the questions. I'm sure people are anxious to get the answers, or at least have their issues tackled or managed. For that, I think after that, then we'll do a small section. The last bit of intimacy, I think there's something we'll add on. And if you allow, I'll do something very small on parenting, because I can see we have young parents here. That's all I can say, Pastor. Thank you.
All right. So let me take the first question. I think someone is asking regards to the conversation we had earlier, that what is the right time to tell my wife about the mistake she has done?
That to me would go back to your program or communication skills or patterns that you have in a relationship. Because the best time to ask a question, more so if it's a sensitive question, is a time when both of you are free and relaxed and you have ample time to listen to each other and answer. So I will not give a morning, evening, or whatever time. But the best time would be when both of you have some time. And this is usually what I say. I think the approach of, excuse me, I have something I needed to share. Do you think you have time? Or do you think we can talk about it? That can come maybe over breakfast, can come maybe after work, or just before you go to bed. Though, going to bed in the evening sometimes, when you have a very sensitive issue, it will spill into your night. So I usually advise that during the day or early in the morning, when you start off, share. Do not say what the problem is. Just open up and say, I have an issue and I wanted to share. Do you think you can create time we talk about it? And if you have the time, because it is not usually a yes and no answer. You do not expect to ask your partner a question and then aseme ndiyo ama hapana. It is always go to bed, my partner had an issue and I think I will listen. Or because I'm very tired, you can postpone and say, please can we talk about it in the morning? Because it could be something sensitive, and if you're going to eat, it might affect your sleep pattern. But I go back to what I'd said earlier. Choose your words. Know what to say, know when to say, know how to say. Because the words you use, the timing, the method, your body language, and everything concerning will influence the feedback from your partner. So, Pastor, to me, there's no particular time, but create that time to discuss the challenge or the issue that may arise in your marriage. That is how I look at it.
And perhaps maybe I should ask, how would we separate between giving time for someone to explain and trying to validate why you did what you did? Because many times there's a thin line between giving me time to explain, and in the process of explaining, it might look like I'm trying to validate why I misbehaved.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think what there is as a person, as a partner in a marriage, be a good listener.
Okay.
Listen more than talk. Because even if your partner has made a mistake, and when you ask, the first natural thing to do is go no and go on the defense. Give them that allowance. So be a good, state your issue and listen to the answer. If you want more clarification, you can ask for clarification, but try not to boil it down to an argument, because this is how an argument starts. I have an issue, and when your partner begins answering, you interject and insist that the version that you gave of the question is the right version. And in so doing, and you listen for 10 minutes. I am very good at that. You can call me and abuse me. Just keep quiet. Let that person rant for 5-10 minutes when you're just listening. You know what will happen? The person will think they're talking to themselves, and automatically they'll
retreat.
Retreat. So the best thing as a partner is we should master the art of being good listeners. When you are a good listener, even when somebody is angry and they're throwing words, continue listening. They will calm down, and then you will now answer. Okay?
But I see mostly, maybe for women, they love a give and take. They would love a give and take. Like, when you keep quiet, they're like, at least participate in the argument. I think it validates their anger. I don't know if I'm talking my mind. But for men, I know for maturity, you may want to keep quiet. But it's offensive again to the lady.
Now,
right?
You see, now that's where such a conference is needed. We said the yin-yang concept. You are not going to say, nikisema umbwa niite mbuzi. We are not being constructive in our discussion. Pastor says wanawake wanapenda. Kuongea hii wanasema hii. But I can tell you that is not the case. Or is that the type of girls that we have? I know some of us can be very quiet, very focused and very objective in what we want to do. And that is the art of making sure you have a healthy marriage. What am I saying? Even when you want to say mujinga, you don't say, because to me, mujinga is not constructive, okay? When you have an issue with your partner, you remember, if you go back to what we said a disagreement is not necessarily a what? A quarrel. We are disagreeing. Sometimes we can disagree very bitterly, but we don't quarrel. You're mastering the art of listening and speaking. Not everything that comes to your mouth should be spoken, to your mind should be spoken. That's why I'm saying, know what to say. Know how to say, and know when to say it. Sometimes postponing talking about an issue naturally solves that issue. And I know, being young, we like talking, and mtu mimi utaniambia ninyamaze.
Njua hizi yangu kama sijakuambia.
Mimi lazima niseme. You'll come to realize that wewe lazima kusema inaharibu zaidi. Once you learn that talking too much or talking everything that you need to say actually jeopardizes the quality of life you live in that marriage, You'll minimize. I'll give you an example if you don't mind.
Yes.
I ever had a neighbor quarreling, and they were talking about a house girl. And this house girl, seemingly the wife was complaining. And then the little girl interjects and also begins saying the mistake of the girl. So the man tries telling the wife, hapana, wacha usiwache mtoto asiongee hivyo. And then the woman is like, kwa nini hutaki aseme? Si mtoto anaongea, si aka anasema ukweli. True, the girl was saying the truth. But do you know why the girl was saying something negative about the house girl? It is because she had gotten an opportunity to overhear her parents talk about the house girl, so she brings in her issues. What was the right thing to do? It was to take away the girl. They would continue with their discussion on the house girl on the side, and then in their own time, ask the girl if she has any issues with the house girl. It is all boiling down to wisdom. How do you carry yourself? Indeed, if most of us knew what to say, how to say it and when to say it, you would not have quarrels in our houses. The only issue is we have not been trained on what to talk and what not to talk. We think when you talk at the top of your voice, you are outsmarting the other partner. What you're doing, you're suppressing that partner, and at the end of the day, you will become a joker. If you are the man who talks too much, akiongea nimesema na kwa hii nyumba lazima msikie, what you're doing is you're washing down your kingship. You're becoming petty. In time, your wife will lose respect for you. And once a woman loses respect for you, she ceases to love you. So mnaishi tu lakini inabaki ni kama you're just hollow. Reason being, you have not earned her respect because for you, maneno unatupa tu kama kuku. So as we grow, it is good to learn how to talk. I was telling you some things in life. Hauendi class, kuna class ya dunia. You learn how to talk. You learn, you choose your words. If you don't know, please ask. If you have an issue and you want to ask your partner, and you are not sure how to go about it, call me and say, mama niko na kitu fulani na sijui nitaongeaje. I will give you the words to use. Because one word can be said in several different ways and bring out very many different meanings. So it is good to know how to talk, the words to use, and the time to say what we need to say.
Wow. I thought we should clap over there. Amen. So there's another question that is being asked here about, I don't know whether this should be maybe briefly, because I know we have quite questions. I say, how can I start to tell my wife that I have a child? I think this is people married, but they have never shared that the gentleman has a child.
Okay. Now, you see what honesty does? I understand. It means this man has a child out of wedlock. Two things, maybe just one thing I would want to know. What will determine how you say it? Did you get that child before you married her? Or have you gotten that child when you're married? Because it is a child, yes, but the circumstances, when discussed, will bring different answers.
Yes.
So if you had that child before you married her, it is good to be honest, okay? And what do women fear? Women fear being displaced. Women love being secure. As long as she feels, even if that child is in your life, it does not threaten her position as a wife. And this will not come at, hakuna kitu itatendeka kwa sababu wewe ni bibi yangu na wewe ni mtoto wangu, hapana. You will have to act like indeed you have no ties. The issue is not the child. The issue is the tie with the mother of the child. Supposing your husband has a child, or you are a gentleman, you had a child somewhere, and the mother to that child maybe died. So the picture of baby mama issues, that is why you people call them, is not in the picture. But usually the biggest fear is, who is this other woman and what is their relationship with my husband? Once you can address that, then you can talk about it. Two, if you had this child when you married, that means something has happened and for whatever reason you've had a child out of wedlock. It is trickier than having a child before you married her, because now you have several issues to talk about.
Yeah.
What made you get a child out of wedlock, and what is going to stop you from getting another child? So depending on the circumstance, it is good for your wife to know that you have a child that is not hers, and let her also know your position. It is going to be stormy, but it's better for her to know than leave not knowing that there's another child.
Yeah.
In any case, some of us women don't have a problem taking care of another person's child. It is worse when you realize or you come to know that your husband secretly fends for his other child without letting you know. Mara nyingi, women will think, huyo wa nje is getting a better part of this man's attention and energy than my own. So bottom line, create an opportunity, knowing the circumstances that that baby was born, and let your wife know about it. It is vice versa, Pastor.
Correct.
We also have women sometimes who get married and they never tell their husbands they have children out of wedlock. It is always good to be sincere. I always say, somebody who loves you will love you the way you are. And the Bokusu that I am, they always say sometimes, when there's a tree kuinje, ukingoa hiyo mtu unamng'oa na matawi yake na takataka yake yote. So it is just good for us to be honest, to let our partners know who we are and what we have. They will still love us for who we are if they are genuinely in need of staying with us. So let your partner know.
Wow. So mnapiga makofi kidogo, because that is quite explicit. It's good to communicate in time and be honest. Sometimes they say it's better to hurt someone with the truth
Yes.
than massage them with a lie.
Lie, yes.
Then there's a question I think is coming from it's talking about, can you use sex styles? I think for tongue-speaking people. I think there's a tongue-speaking brother. Hallelujah. He's asking whether we could have sex styles in marriage. All of us are missionaries to India. I think that's the question.
Oh. Now,
I'm
people
sorry
are
if that's
talking.
not the, but I think that's the question.
Now, people are talking.
Yeah, thank you for talking.
Yeah, people
Appreciate
are
yourself for talking.
People have said talking. I think I said quality sex. Okay? Quality sex would mean having sex in the most comfortable and best way that suits you two people as a couple. Because what works for couple A might not work for couple B. And because we are looking for quality, if you think incorporating this and this and this will give you quality, then please go ahead and do it. After all, that is for the two of you, and you people are married. It is perfectly okay. And sometimes it is good to be a little adventurous. And if it makes you people comfortable, okay?
Closer to your mouth. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying it is perfectly okay because we are looking for quality sex. If quality will mean we incorporate what you feel is right, it is perfectly okay. What I do not advocate for is areas that are not designed and designated for the sexual act. When you insist on having, let's say, anal sex, to me, that will not be quality sex, a quality sex life. As Christians, to me, I would look at it like that borders abomination, okay? So if you're going to have quality sex, you might get adventurous, incorporate this and that, but please make sure it is something that is allowed us according to our Christian faith, and two, that is also healthy. Because we have people who engage in oral sex, we have people who engage in anal sex, and other types of sexes. But please read about it. You might think you're being adventurous and it is good for you. But there are other issues and other challenges that come with it. Be enlightened, read about it, and do not get into an engagement that might cause you issues tomorrow. We've read about things about throat cancer and other cancers because of people who go in for oral sex, because they say our oral cavity and muscle is very similar for us women, like what we have on our sexual organ. So if we have the PVV, we know it, the human papilloma virus, what causes cervical cancer. If you're prone to oral sex, it is very easy for a man to move from one sex partner and bring it to another person. It would come from the sexual aspect, and because you're going oral and vice versa, it brings a lot of issues. So I personally don't advocate for any other of those, either oral or anal. I don't do that. But if it is just the usual sex styles, if it makes you people comfortable and you feel it is right, you can go ahead and do it. I don't think that is wrong.
All right. Let's appreciate Hansfield for that response. So I think if we can take like 2 minutes on every question,
Okay.
it will be better. You said that once you find your partner cheating and he or she denies, it means the partner is trying to protect you and to avoid hurting you. What if the habit continues? How will you handle it?
Okay, fine. If somebody continues cheating, then that is a choice. Okay?
You should clap right there.
Yes.
You should clap right there.
One time, you say no. The next time, you will not give an excuse. You would have made it a choice. So you will handle it differently. You will know that this person has decided that I'm not good enough for them. That is why they're insisting on getting other multiple partners, and therefore, I don't like it, and this is what I need to do. And if you're the partner who is cheating, please do not think you're smart. You have a problem and seek help. Having multiple partners is not fashion. Yes. For the Christians, just know that is a spirit of lust. Please calm down out of it. Marriage is best done when you just you and your partner.
Come on, clap there, clap there. This is so powerful. And then there's a question here. Why is sex different after getting a baby?
Sex is different after getting a baby because in your mind, you think it is different. It is that simple. There's nothing different. Sex is just sex.
Does the baby interfere with the sex?
The baby changes the way you
Maybe
handle
talk
sex.
on part
Yes.
of the man and the woman.
Yes.
Yes.
On the part of the woman, sex, I'll start there. Sex will change because now you have to learn how to have sex with the baby in it. One reason, we are very fond of using our mammary glands or our breasts. For us women, it is part of our sex life. When you're breastfeeding, do you think that should continue? A weird madman will think it can continue. But please understand that those are the changes that happen in marriage, and you accept and know that now we are going to have sex in a certain manner. Two, we give birth to our babies through the same organ that you now want to use. If I have not healed well, or if your partner has not healed well, it is going to be uncomfortable, and therefore you're not going to enjoy the sex. Three, psychologically understand that as we grow older, things change. They change on the woman, they change on the man. When the baby comes in place, some things might change. It will take time for you to heal and go back to your normal self. Understand. And I can tell you for free for the ladies who are here, men sometimes get very scared when their wives have babies. And if the man is not well counseled and prepared, it will affect his sex life. You know why? They see the pain that their wife go through as they have the baby, especially during labor. And the man gets scared that if it's through sex that my partner is going to go through this pain, then I really don't want it to happen. And unknowingly, it affects them and by extension affects their sex life.
Wow.
So yes, it does happen, but when both of you are mature and you know how to go about it, you embrace each other as you grow.
Wow, amazing, amazing. How do we focus during the act of sex after a disagreement? So that means they are doing it, and they have not solved the issue.
Now, the thing is this, we are saying when there's a agreement, you must conclude the issue. Okay? Once you conclude it, sex is not part of the disagreement. If you realize that you still feel distant, and reason being, you are hurt because of what was said or what went through. It is simple. You have not healed, you're not being real. Yes.
Okay.
Because if you have healed and you're being real, you will have no reason to hold back. Yes. But anytime you realize that the sex does not come out right, you are not bonding, and it is because you had an argument, give yourself time. Just know it is because what happened still affecting my partner. They would have said, yes, it's okay, I understand, mambo imeisha, but deep down, healing is not instant. Give them a little time, that will go away. And how do you do it? Please do not bring back that subject. You will know that this person is unatonesha kidonda. Then it just keep quiet and give your partner time, things will be fine.
So you prefer that people sort the issues? They
Some-
apologize.
Yes. Some people.
And verbally.
Yes. Some people think when you have sex, then you.
Charity, I microphone.
Oh, sorry. Some people think when you have sex after disagreement, then it's a form of an apology. Sex is not supposed to take away mistakes. An apology is an apology. Okay? And sex is a right, and that is something different. It's a different content, and therefore, do not mingle the two. Okay? And when you go into the act of sex, do not blackmail the other partner. Do not think you are doing it to please the other partner. Go into having sex because you also need it and you want to enjoy it. In so doing, even if there has been a mistake, it is now time for me to enjoy and have sex. The mistake will continue tomorrow. This is a moment for me to have fun and enjoy myself. I go ahead with it.
That I find it so difficult to maybe proceed with an action of sex when we haven't sorted, because I don't feel like we are supposed to be doing this, but the man is like, let's do it right now.
Now, I have said, and I'm repeating, please do not tie your sex to your disagreement. Do not tie your sex to your achievement.
And moods.
Because what you're going to do is you'll be rewarding sex. Leo amenipikia managu. Today, I'm rewarding. Okay.
Managu was just
Tomorrow, because they made sukuma and cabbage, and because I don't like it, I will withhold it because they gave me wrong food. This, once you begin understanding that sex is your right, just like when they cook ugali, you have to eat. You will stop. Who told you? Can you look at somebody, a man or a woman who does not eat because you angered them? That is a very immature person.
Take your time there.
Yeah. When you are mature, you know very well, I know between sex and getting angry. I have told you, it is time to solve an issue. We have solved this issue, and this issue might not have an immediate solution. It will need some time to go away. But there's something called sex in this marriage, and here it has come served on a platter like this. You eat it to your satisfaction, you'll sort out the problem tomorrow.
Later. You'll clap right there. If I were you, I would clap right there. Please, separate issues. Separate.
And I'm not asking because maybe I might be going through.
No,
the
you're
same.
asking for 99 others, so you just go
Exactly,
ahead.
yeah.
Yes. 99 others.
Assuming you have actually like encountered an agreement, and you found yourself in a place. You see, there are ladies. Okay, sometimes we watch even in TV, and we have those kinds of ladies where wanasemanga leo unanipiga nipige. Like you have encountered such like a lady mwenye, like for example,
Provoking you.
Huh?
He's provoking you.
Yeah, anakuprovoke in the first place.
So accidentally.
Alafu, not actually. Like for example, like the first question was, how do you solve? Because huyu ni mtu mwenye like you want peace, but jibu ni vibaya, ukinyamaza ni vibaya. Unanipata? Number
like
two,
this, yeah.
number two, assuming there is I understand sometimes like sex is also an emotional thing, like lazima, like it's mindset actually. So assuming umekuwa na disagreement, your mind is not there, and actually it's a right of a partner. Like maybe for example, let me take an example.
The offender wants
the
sex
offender,
from the offendee.
Yeah, and the offendee, the mindset is not there. How now?
Yes, I think. Would you lose the track? Would you lose track? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd like to concur with what you said. You know, I believe sex is also something to do with psychology. So maybe you have hurt your woman in the morning, or you had a fight over the night, and you know she's kind of psychologically affected. So do you think, it's the right of the other person to have sex, but do you think that psychological room will facilitate that? You knock me in the morning, in the evening, you expect that psychologically.
It's the question we're asking. The offender wants sex from the offendee. And it's a right. And you said we separate them.
Okay, fine. The offender wants sex from the offendee. What is barring the sex? It's because the offendee has not forgiven the offender. And therefore, even if the discussion were on, the offendee still feels comfortable having it. Like she says, indeed, sex is a matter of the mind. Sex is a matter, it's psychological. So if you're not mature enough to let go of the disagreement because you have been offended and you find it very hard to forgive, and therefore you want to use sex, you want to blackmail him and say, because you offended me and I'm not ready to forgive you and I'll not therefore have sex. It is a wrong approach to the sexual act. And that is why we keep saying, please know that even if you are angry, it is not that the sex is bad. It is something to do with you. You are offended that this person hit me in the morning, this person talked to me badly, and therefore we are going to bed and here they are thinking we can have sex. It is because you think having sex pleases the other person. The moment you understand that the act of sex also pleases you, the act of sex, the challenge is here. We have not understood that as it is worse for us women, that for us women, we have a right over sex and we also need to enjoy sex. Do us women know that? The liberated women, I can tell you for free, are a level above some of us who feel you have offended me and therefore I cannot have sex. It is like saying, I am angry even if you have brought chicken in this house, I will not eat. You have eaten, you are angry. Umepika ugali, umekula. Umepika chai, umekunywa. You have watched your favorite TV show. It has not affected your anger. But when it comes to the bedroom, you get to the bedroom and all of a sudden imagine, you now remember I was angry with this man and therefore I'll not have sex. You know what you're saying? You think you having sex with that man, it is pleasing that man. You forget that having that sex also pleases you. You see, that is where the balance is.
Clap right there.
We ought to know that sex is not about pleasing the other partner alone. It's also about pleasuring you too. So why are you punishing yourself? You do not want to enjoy sex because he annoyed you in the morning. What else have you not done because you are annoyed? How kuoga? That is being immature.
If you ate, please.
Yes.
If you ate.
If you ate, if you have had every other aspect of your day rolling, you are not going to tell me when it gets to the evening and you want to go to bed, you will not have sex because you are angry. It just means that you have not matured enough and you do not know the benefits of sex. Therefore, please grow up.
Mpige makofi hapo polisi.
There's another aspect about the woman who says, sunipige, suseme, sufanye nini. It will boil down to what I'm saying. That is just immaturity. Haujipendi. You cannot ask a man to beat you.
Because they can.
Yeah. Because indeed, he can not just beat you. He can demolish you. Why do you think by saying it is a level of immaturity, you do not know how to carry yourself, you do not love yourself, and you do not know what you want? Because when you are saying beat me, do you really want to be beaten? You are trying to test the waters. And when you love somebody, please do not test the waters. Love that person. If you remember, I told you people, Mimi, I love man to be beaten. Please up your game, be mature, say what you want. If you want to be beaten, the man, you people do not know how to answer women. If you gave her the fact, you will tell that woman, I am not here to batter women. I was not brought up to beat women. If you think I have to beat you, then I'm not the man for you. Atanyamaza. Give the answer that is supposed to be beaten. Apana wachana na mimi.
Pigeni makofi hapo.
Give that person the answer that they need to know. I don't know.
Wow.
And I will repeat, especially for us ladies, please know that sex is not just to please the man. When you get into the act of sex, it is mutual. You must learn how to enjoy it as much as he is enjoying. You are not doing him a favor. It is your right. You need it. If you don't know how to enjoy sex, please, God given activity, okay? And God gave it to us men for what? For two things. There's pleasure and procreation. So if you don't know the pleasure part, you keep on hoarding and thinking and wanting to be begged, you will suffer. Hey, thank you very much.
You will suffer. You will. Bozo, you will suffer. Sometimes all we need is a me time, really. And then
you think, kind of made it look like if you are a woman who comes at sex, it is the man who should always be obsessed by sex. What is obsession? To me, obsession is if it just be your one has issues with your. Now, when we are talking about knowing your love language, it is also good to know your sex language and your sex patterns. And it is good to how a wife can claim that a man is obsessed. And if something called low tests on you and they'll come up with diagnosis, and they might tests on you and they'll come up with diagnosis, and they might even put higher than yours. There's something that is standard. And ask yourself, why is it that yours is very now? When you talk about the me time, it means it is good if what is causing you. What is it that you do in the me time? That is why counselors ask very many questions. Counselors ask very many questions. Because sometimes you might think it is the me time, you realize that you'll enjoy. You can look at a scenario. My son here told me his love language is. So it is good to know why your partner is presumably obsessed, and why in your own thinking sometimes you need your me time. I'm seeing somebody who wants to be on their own to solve my own issues, to think of my own issues, to think about my own life, and I would not want any other person near.
The responsibility of the one who wants sex, should be the man.
The initiator of the sex
yeah.
should be the. We approach sex differently. We respond to the sexual act differently as men and women. If a man does not have an erection, in many cases, the man will initiate because he is the one who has the 3/4 of the process, actually. But it does not mean act. It is in the stereotype. A woman will give, even just when your woman is sending the message, not necessarily coming to you and grabbing you and insisting, is also very important. Okay. Back to my topic then, understand your love language, know your sex indicators. That mwenzangu akifanya hivi ndio. Or the way a woman will initiate sex might be slightly different from the way a man will do it, but the message
that after that sumptuous meal, there's a temptation to close your eyes, but I'm just asking that you don't close them. I keep them.
Everybody is looking forward to getting an answer to what they.
I think this answers the question, what is the solution for a partner who loves sex more than the other?
Well, wanting sex.
Wanatakanga wewe ukitaka nini? If that's the question, wewe unatakanga nini?
I think this is what I would understand is one partner would want it more. This other one goes off it very quickly. And the other person looks like it. Okay. And that will make the other partner understand why the other one behaves the way they do.
Amazing. Clap right there again. This clapping is helping. It's helping. How do I handle a husband who...
Is it sex? Is it marriage?
How do I handle a husband who doesn't know how to prepare a woman, I think before sex? Because they don't, before marriage, preparation, which preparation is needed before marriage? How can a woman prepare a man before marriage? So let's talk about sex.
Now.
Yes.
I'm realizing then we really should have gotten into the sex
The sex issue,
yes,
yeah.
because to learn, and they're allowed to learn. But how do you talk about, like, this is how I want it done?
The question would be, who told you?
Not really who told you, but...
who are you to instruct me?
Does it mean I don't know and I have not been therefore I have not been doing the right thing? This comes in by realizing that your partner does not know how to initiate sex. Then one partner is complaining about the other one not knowing what needs to be done. Communicate. But be very careful that you're not comparing your partner to somebody else.
You should clap right there. Clap
Yes.
right there.
When did I realize that my partner prepare for sex or the act? No. It comes in your wife is satisfied. Your wife is satisfied. You have the basics in the house. Not about just. It is not a show. See that type of scenario. Who will feel your partner